Dom just signed a new deal with Derbyshire for the 2020 season. After the year we had last year, I mean, was it an easy decision to come back?
Yeah, it certainly was an easy decision after obviously where we got to last year. It was a fantastic effort from a side who were probably written off, as we have done for a long time. A side that perhaps didn't have the quality that the other sides had. Only one overseas player, and obviously Logan was for all competitions, so it wasn't really a specified T20 player. So to have all those things against you as a side, to reach where we did was fantastic. Not just for the players, but for the supporters, for the staff as well. It was a great day, and it just obviously has given us that little bit of a taste of what victory can do.
Yeah, and the bulk of the squad that got us to finals day last season, that's still there. A couple of new additions as well. How excited are you about working with the squad next year?
I'm excited. Obviously throughout this winter I'm going to be working around the world on T20 tournaments. I'm out to see an under-19 World Cup in South Africa as well, so I'm going to see some young talent coming through. But I always say that this club has always had young talent. At times we haven't been able to keep hold of it, so that's really impressive that we've still got the bulk of the squad together. Throw in two very good overseas players in Sean Abbott and Ben McDermott, and we as a side have got to push on from here. It's all right saying yet last year how good it was. I think the object now is, can we do it again? Can we do it the second year on a trot? Can we get to quarterfinals? Can we get to finals day? Business has still got to be done. I've been brought in here for success, and I want to win the competition. It's simple, and it's not going to be easy because there's going to be sides out there who are going to think, hang on, we probably didn't look at Derbyshire as the strength as they were, and they're going to come at us harder than they did last year. So the squad are going to have to be up for it. We're going to plan well, like we always did. We're not going to have pieces of paper in our hand. I keep saying that I don't have a piece of paper in my hand as a coach. It's a load of nonsense. We do so much work on stats. We do so much work at getting the players mentally right, and they're working hard in the winter now, just on obviously not just T20 on all formats.
Yeah, and you talked there as well about how teams maybe will be looking at Derbyshire a little bit closer this season, but I suppose after claiming some of the scalps you did last year, the team and yourself must be full of confidence going into those bigger games now.
Well, I think if you look at all the social media that the club put out at the moment, underestimated no more. That's all I keep seeing is underestimated no more. And in some ways that's nice, but in some ways then that highlights exactly what we did to some big counties. Think about Yorkshire. Think about the stats that we've done against them over the last, not just last year, the last 4 or 5 years. The way that we played against them, we go to Old Trafford and win there. We beat some big teams, Worcester at home, winners of competitions. So when we come up against these sides, they're not going to think about Derbyshire, poor little Derbyshire, are not a good side. Let's just get in here and get out with a victory. They're going to plan well. They're going to look at our strengths. They're going to look at our weaknesses. And what we have got to do as a side and a squad, and what I've got to do as head coach of the T20 side with the other coaches, with Mel and Curbs and Houts, is actually work out how we can get better. What can we do differently to last year to go that one step further? Is not just to get to a semi-final and unfortunately come on the end of a very good side, the winners in Essex. Is how can we go one step further? And like I always say, there's always going to be bumps in the road. And I know that some of the fans got a little bit upset last year with some of the performances, and quite rightly so, because we let ourselves down in certain times. Durham at home, I think, was for me the worst. Forget Leicester or 23 for 6. That was just sometimes happens. But Durham at home was the biggest game that I thought we let ourselves down and let a team down. So that's what we've got to do as a side. We've got to plan better. We've got to work harder. And we've got to really make sure that we don't just think because of last year we're going to do okay the year coming.
And the Blast does start a little bit earlier this year in May. Will that change your approach to things at all? The difference in conditions, maybe less games getting rained off?
No. You can't worry about weather. You can't worry about conditions. It's about what you do well as a side. Obviously, we'll try and make this a fortress. I think every side wants to make their home ground as a fortress, and we've got to get better at that. We've got to look as a side and think it doesn't matter whether we win the toss, it doesn't matter whether we bat first, it doesn't matter whether we bat under lights. We've got to do it better than we did last year. Even though last year was a good year, we can do better. And mentally as a side, we've got to do that. So I don't worry too much about the change in where the T20 is in the calendar year. It's about turning up as a side. It's about believing in what we can do. And it's about going out there and expressing ourselves. We're a Derbyshire side who reached the finals last year. Whoopie-doo, we've not won anything. That's all we did is reach a finals day, which is a great day. For me, a side is judged on what they do consistently. We've reached 2 quarter-finals, we've reached a semi-final, and we've done well as a side winning games along with other teams. But we need to win competitions now, and that's not just the T20. I'm sure David Houghton will tell you the same. It's the second division, it's the 50 over competition as well. And the side and the squad is set up to do that, and it's now down to the likes of myself, the likes of the coaches, to actually give the players that freedom to go out there and enjoy themselves. I always say it's a game of cricket, it's not life or death.
And finally, next year is a very important year for the club. It's the 150th. As someone with such a strong bond with the club, how much would it mean to you to go and give the supporters a really memorable, exciting blast campaign?
Of course, well, I think it was memorable last year, if I'm honest. Memorable to me is winning competitions, and obviously I've been lucky enough at this club to win a competition. I've been to finals before with this club, but 1993 I think it was when we won the 50 over competition at Lords. That was a great occasion, and 150 years of this club, there's been some excellent cricket being played. There's been some good cricketers that have walked through those gates, or before the gates were there, off the racecourse and straight onto the ground. So hopefully it's a good year, not just for T20, for all forms of the game. Hopefully we can attract as many supporters as we want. We've got to make this a fortress, and I'd say to all supporters out there, I know at times we may disappoint you because of how we play, but support us through trying to get wins, support us through obviously the 150 years of this club. And as I say, it's a bit of a throwaway line. Let's have a blast.
Dominic, thank you.
No worries.